posted in a couple weeks, we all have had the flu at my house, so that's me and my three kids, so we have been down and out for quite a while. So, um, I'm going to pick up where we left off. I'm going to read in Proverbs chapter 3, so verse 1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. This is saying, it's obvious that um, keep the commandments, not only the Ten Commandments, but what the Lord tells you to do, and um, keep that in your heart, and always remember that in everything that you do. For length of days and long life, and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. And here it says, if you follow his commandments and his laws and his truth, that your life, it won't be easy by no means, but it will be made better. And I know when I walk right in the Lord rather than when I don't, um, even though my situation is the same, my burdens are not as heavy. My situation may be the complete same, but it's lighter to carry the weight. So, um, so shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. So trust the Lord. He knows more what to do and what you need to do than you do. We live in the flesh and he does not, and we can only get our wisdom from him. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So I'm going to go down here and the study part of the Bible. And so this is talking about, in verse 3, two important character qualities are mercy and truthfulness. Both involve actions as well as attitudes. A merciful person not only feels love, he also acts responsibly and faithfully. A truthful person not only believes the truth, he also works for justice and for others. Thoughts and words are not enough. Who said that? Thoughts and words are not enough. Our lives reveal whether we are truly merciful and truthful. Do your actions measure up to your attitudes? Actions speak louder than words. We've all heard that, and that's the truth. It's not enough to think kind of somebody, or feel pity for somebody. Say you see this old man um, who needs help. Oh, poor thing, and just drive on by. That's not enough. We need a sense of community and help one another, and make some. I know we all have busy schedules, but it's important to make some time to help others. When we have an important decision to make, we sometimes feel that we can't trust anyone, not even God. We all, we got this big thing on our plate, and we need to figure it out. And we think we got to take those reins and do it ourselves, but that's not what God wants. God wants you to lean on Him and follow Him and search Him for what you need to do. But God knows what is best. He is a better judge of what we want than we are. We must trust Him completely in every choice we make. We should not omit careful thinking or belittle our God-given ability to reason. But we should not trust our own ideals to the exclusion of all others. We get sometimes tunnel vision. We think we know what needs to be done, but that's not always the case. Oftentimes we overlook things and we're misguided. We should always be willing to listen and to be corrected by God's word and wise counselors. Bring your decision to God in prayer. Use the Bible as your guidance and follow God's leading. To receive God's guidance, says Solomon, we must acknowledge God in all we do. About 1,000 years later, Jesus emphasized this same truth in Matthew 6:33. Look at your values and priorities. What is important to you? Where is God on that list? What is His advice? Make Him a vital part of everything you do, and He will guide you because you will be working to accomplish His purpose. So you've heard, whatever you put for the Lord is your God. And a lot of times we don't even realize that we do that. We don't always put him first. It's kind of on the back burner. Oh, I'll read my Bible later. Or, oh, I'll go to church next Sunday. Or, oh, I'll tell somebody about the Lord whenever I feel better. I don't really feel like doing that right now. Um, but that's not how we're supposed to be. We should, with enthusiasm, tell others about the Lord and do what He asks us to do. And it's not. He's not a second choice. He just isn't. Many people give God their leftovers. If they can afford to donate anything, they do so. These people might be sincere and contribute willingly, but their attitude is nonetheless backwards. It is better to give God the first part of our income. This demonstrates that God, not possessions, has first place in our lives, and that our resources belong to Him. We are only managers of God's resources. Giving to God first helps us conquer greed, helps us properly manage God's resources, and opens us to God's special blessings. It's really important to give back to the Lord, and it's not just talking about at church. There's other ways to give. You can donate things to shelters, or um, help somebody. You see a family that's in need, that's hurting. Help them. It's just really important to give back. Through God. So, verse 10. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastising of the Lord. Listen to this part. My son, despise not the chastising of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. When the Lord weighs on our hearts, and when we commit a sin, I know one thing I pray at night when I'm praying. I pray that the Lord, for my children and I, when we commit a sin, that He weighs heavy on our hearts, so we don't commit that sin again. It's really important. Conviction and chastising and correction is part of it. When a parent loves a child, they're not gonna let that child run wild and do whatever they want to do. You have to guide that child and correct them, even though it might upset them or make them angry at first. Eventually, as they age or as they grow in wisdom, they will understand it. And that's what the Lord's doing. He's doing it out of love. He's not doing it out of spite or that He hates us. He's doing it completely out of love. Here we go. For whom the Lord loveth, He correcteth, even as the Father the Son in whom He delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and gain thereof than fine gold. So it's telling you right here, gold and silver don't compare to wisdom, and that is huge, because we know how big silver and gold and money is in our culture, and a wise person is so much more than all that. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and her paths of peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is every one that retaineth her. The Lord by wisdom hath, now when it says her, it's talking about wisdom. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath He established the heavens. By His knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So discretion is really important. I believe that you keep that when you do something for the Lord, you don't go around bragging about it. Or when you help somebody, you don't go around bragging about it. When you have something of value, don't brag about it. You just, you be discreet, and, you know, um, sometimes you might not even realize you're bragging. I know that I used to brag about my kids. I know it's just something natural usually for a parent to do, but then I started feeling convicted for it, and I stopped doing it because I felt for me convicted for bragging that my child made 100 on a test or so forth. And it didn't mean that I wasn't proud of them. It didn't mean that I didn't rejoice in them and tell them how um, I'm glad that they worked hard and got that good grade. It just means that I didn't put it out there for everybody else to know. That my child was, this. Um, I felt like that was wrong for me to do so. Um, the Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth by understanding hath He established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thy eyes. Teach them wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked, when it cometh, because it will come. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Here he's telling you that it's going to come. Things are going to happen, but with the Lord, you hold steadfast in him, and don't be afraid, because he will help you through it. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thy hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, Go and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose not none of his ways. Oftentimes we see people who are living in the world and um, just doing worldly things, and but they seem to be getting um, wealth and power and respect, and it's hard not to envy them. Be like, I want to be like them. I want all that too. Why can't I just have all that? And right here it tells us not to do that, because that will lead to destruction. And whatever we see on the outside is not what's on the inside. Ultimately we want to go to heaven, and living in the ways of the world will not get you there. For the forward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. Um, so the wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. That tells you right there that people who are foolish and who um, don't think before they act, um, it's going to cause problems in their life. It's just how it is. How many times I know I have acted upon emotions and just raw, feelings, and without thinking things through, and have embarrassed myself. It happens. But as we grow in the Lord, and as we gain knowledge, it's vital to try to not do that, not to react on emotions and feelings. So correction is a vital part of discipline. This is the study part of it. So correction is a vital part of discipline, and discipline means to teach and to train. Discipline sounds negative to many people because some disciplinaries are not loving. Now, there is a right and wrong way to correct somebody. Don't belittle them, don't talk down to them. Do it through love, and you'll see a big difference. God, however, is the source of all love. He doesn't punish us because he enjoys inflicting pain, but because he is deeply concerned about our development. He knows that in order to become morally strong and good, we must learn the difference between right and wrong. His loving discipline enables us to do this. It's difficult to know when God has been disciplining us until we look back on the situation later. Not every calamity that happens to us comes directly from God, of course. But if we rebel against God and refuse to repent when he has identified some sin in our lives, God may use guilt, crisis, or bad experience to bring us back to him. Sometimes, however, difficult times come when we have no sin. Our response then should be patience, integrity, and trust that God will show us what to do. And that's so hard because, sometimes we do bring things on ourselves. Sometimes we do um, sin when we know better, and then there are consequences for that sin, and we reap the repercussions of it. But then there are times that we do nothing at all, and something bad happens to us, and it's hard to tell the difference in that. You can't outwardly judge somebody for something bad happening in their lives. You can't say, well, they're just not living right. You can't do that because that's not necessarily true, and it's not for you to point fingers and be, if you're not the deciding factor on that. God is, and he's the one who knows, and that's just part of their relationship with the Lord that they have to sort out, and that's not for you to sort out. Um, how do people become successful in their family life, in business or in um, athletics? So hard work and consistent discipline. The Christian life is much the same. Some people think it takes too much work, but achieving anything worthwhile requires hard work. Being a Christian is not a shortcut to an easy life. When you search for wisdom, working hard at living, as God asks you, discover that no worldly success can compare to the joy of knowing God. Proverbs has many strong statements about the benefits of wisdom, including long life, wealth, honor, and peace. If you aren't experiencing them, does that mean you are sure on wisdom? Not necessarily. Instead of guarantees, these statements are general principles to make us think. In a perfect world, wise behavior would always lead to these benefits. Even in our troubled world, living wisely usually results in obvious blessings, but not always. Sometimes sin intervenes, and some blessings must be delayed until Jesus returns to establish his eternal kingdom. That is why we must walk by faith, not by sight, when we can be sure that wisdom ultimately leads to blessing. It's easier to walk by faith than um, whenever your life is going good. Oh yeah, I believe, yeah, I know everything's great. But whenever your life is really bad or there's multiple things going on, it's harder to walk by faith. I've noticed it's really, you just see so many negative things in your life that is going on. And it's like you start having this pity party. Why me? Why is this going on? Why can't I have just a little bit of just you know peace of mind and something? But that's not how we should do it. And, look at Job. He went through everything. He lost everything, and he still had his faith. So it shows that we're capable of it. It's just, trying to get that devil out of our mind and actually do it. It is easy to get to debt and hard to get out of it. Unfortunately, debt owed to a friend can destroy trust and divide even the best of friends. Delaying the payback is unfair, not just inconvenient, but as eager to repay your loans as you were to give them. Pay them back ahead of schedule, if possible. This verse implies that there is a time for fighting. Injustice must be combated, sin resisted, and evil confronted whenever it appears. But don't waste time and energy on needless fights. Arguing about trivial matters or personal inconveniences. Save your energy for the real battles against sin and God's enemies. So, sometimes we're not very good at picking and choosing our battles. We get so angry and upset about certain stuff. We're like, you know what? I'm going to tell them how I feel. But we need to think about that. Is that really right? Do we need to do that? Or do we need to hold our tongue and, save that battle for something that will be more beneficial to bring someone to the Lord and um, stuff like that. So, thank you for listening today. That was Proverbs chapter 3. I appreciate you just bearing with me and walking through this journey with me. I know I'm not the best speaker and I'm really country, but it is important to me. I felt like the Lord compelling me to do this and um, hoping that I can lead somebody to the Lord. That's so important to me and so important to the Lord that I just bring Him some glory. And if I can just reach one person, it would be instrumental in my walk with the Lord. And um, knowing that I can help somebody in need really means a lot. Um, so once again, I appreciate you listening, and I hope you all have a blessed day, and